Have you ever scrolled through Instagram, seen a stunning model effortlessly posing in exotic locals and thought, how did they make that much money? Well, buckle up, buttercups, because we're peeling back the curtain on the mind-blowing ways freelance models aren't just surviving, they're thriving. Forget the starving artist trope. We're diving deep into the strategies that allow these independent beauties to pull in serious cash, like crazy moolah, often exceeding their agency-bound counterparts. And trust us, secrets are juicier and more surprising than you can imagine. Stick around, because what you're about to learn could fundamentally change how you view the entire modeling industry, and you won't want to miss the shocking revelations coming your way. Remember the days when models were solely at the mercy of casting directors and agency bookings? Yeah, it was a rigid, often frustrating system. But then something shifted. A new breed of model emerged. One wasn't afraid to take their career into their own hands. They started seeing things for themselves, not just as faces, but as entrepreneurs. Take, for example, the story of Anya. A few years ago, Anya was a promising but perpetually overlooked model, stuck in the agency grind. She had occasional catalog work, maybe a small commercial if she was lucky, but consistent, high-paying gigs were elusive. The agency took a hefty cut, and her control over her career felt practically non-existent. One day, frustrated and inspired by the growing creator economy, she decided to forge her own path, started building her own online presence, showcasing her unique style and personality beyond just the typical modeling portfolio. The internet, of course, was the catalyst. Social media platforms like Instagram and TikTok transformed models from passive subjects into active brand builders. Instead of just waiting for opportunities, freelance models began creating their own. They realized their personal brand, their unique aesthetic, and their ability to connect with an audience were just as valuable, if not more so, than a specific headshot. This shift wasn't just overnight though. It required a fundamental change in the mindset. Freelance models had to become their own agents, marketers, and business managers. They had to invest in high quality equipment, learn about social media algorithms, and understand how to negotiate directly with clients. It meant putting themselves out there, being vulnerable, and building a community around their work. The how wasn't just about looking good, it was about smart business strategy. So how did Anya and others like her start really making bank? It boils down to diversification and direct access. The power of the personal brand. Anya meticulously curated her Instagram feed. It wasn't just about fashion shoots, it was about her lifestyle, her interests, her travels. This created a richer, more relatable persona for potential clients. Brands weren't just hiring a model, they were hiring a personality to represent their product, reaching an engaged audience. Instead of waiting for an agent to find her gig, Anya started reaching out directly to brands she admired and whose aesthetic aligned with hers. She built a professional media kit showcasing her work, her social media reach, and her engagement rates. This allowed her to bypass the agency middleman and negotiate her own rates, keeping a much larger percentage of their earnings. Anya discovered that smaller brands, often those with a niche audience, were willing to pay good money for authentic endorsements from models with highly engaged followings. Her ability to connect with her audience made her recommendations powerful. She'd often charge a flat fee per cost or package deal for a series of content. And beyond brand collaborations, Anya explored other avenues. She started offering her photography services to smaller businesses, leveraging her eye for composition and lighting. And she also began creating and selling presets for photographers, capitalizing on her expertise. One of the most significant shifts enabling freelance models to earn more is the rise of direct booking platforms and the willingness of clients to engage directly. Historically, agents acted as gatekeepers, taking their commissions for facilitating connections. Now, many platforms allow models to create profiles, showcase their portfolios, and be directly discovered by photographers, brands, and agencies seeking talent. This direct access means models can negotiate their contracts and rates without an intermediary. They can understand the scope of work intimately and price themselves accordingly. For specialized shoots, think fitness, lifestyle, or even specific ethnic representation, clients often seek out models who fit a very particular niche, and they're willing to pay that premium money for that perfect match, bypassing the traditional agency model for faster, more targeted results. The digital age has also fostered a demand for authenticity. Consumers are tired of overly polished, unattainable imagery. They want someone they can really relate to. So with freelance models, by building their own personal brands, they're inherently positioned to offer that authenticity. Their followers connect with them on a more personal level, making their endorsements more genuine and therefore more effective for brands. This authenticity translates directly into earning potential. Brands understand that a genuine recommendation from a trusted influencer model can drive sales way more effectively than a generic ad. This has opened doors for models who might not fit the traditional high fashion mold, but possess a relatable charm and a loyal following. And so here's a little secret. The traditional modeling agency model, while still relevant, often prioritizes models who fit a very narrow, commercially viable mold. And for many aspiring models, this means spending years waiting for that big break that may never actually come. Freelance models, though, by embracing their individuality and proactively building their own platforms, bypass that little waiting game. The challenge, of course, is the sheer amount of work involved. Being a freelance model isn't just about showing up for shoots. It's about constant self-promotion, networking, financial management, and staying ahead of evolving digital trends. They require discipline, resilience, and a genuine passion for the business side of things, not just the glamour. So the success stories of freelance models aren't just about luck, they're about strategic innovation. They've all recognized the power of the internet. It's massive, it's crazy. The value of their personal brand, the importance of direct client relationships. They've transformed themselves from being a simple model into being a brand, an entrepreneur, a digital influencer. And the most exciting part, this is just the beginning. The landscape is constantly evolving, and for those willing to adapt and embrace the entrepreneurial spirit, the earning potential for freelance models is seemingly limitless. So, how about it, man? Are you ready to stop waiting and start earning? Because literally all of the power is in your hands. Make that name for yourself, create that brand, start that new fashion trend, and most importantly, make that money. These agencies ain't gonna do it for you, so do it for yourself.